My name is Todd Selig. I'm the administrator for the town of Durham, New Hampshire, and I'm here to present Rafidah Rahman. Rafidah is a candidate for a Master of Science in Sustainability at Tufts University, yet she is no ordinary Jumbo the elephant. As you know, Jumbo the elephant is the Tufts mascot. Back in 2002, 14 elephants from the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, totaling 112,000 tons, walked across the new Leonard Zakim Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge in Boston to test its structural integrity. Like those brave elephants in 2002, Rafidah is working in Durham in 2022 to develop and test the integrity of our local climate action planning and strategies. She has brought to us many unique perspectives as an individual from Bangladesh with experience working with the United Nations Population Fund. It is with great pleasure that I present to you Rafidah Rahman.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you everyone for having me for this presentation. I'll start with the statement that people often find it difficult to relate to global issues like climate change in a way that seems relevant to them. Now, working with the town of Durham this summer, I learned that a municipality has a unique ability to connect the bigger picture with the actual local picture, and vice versa. Efforts on an individual level can lead to a global impact. As you can see from this slide, similar climate-related disasters took place in two separate parts of the world. It may appear that both countries are facing the same problem. However, the truth is that the global north and the global south have different realities and different capacities to cope with these disasters. There's definitely a climate divide. Being from the global south and coming from Bangladesh, a country that is one of the most vulnerable to climate change, this work with the town of Durham is not only professional, but also a moral and a personal one for me. Next slide, please. As you can see from the left, there's a roadmap which gives an overview of what we aim to accomplish within the next year. I've been focusing on the first three over the summer. Durham is located in a low-lying coastal area and is at risk of flooding from sea level rise. Durham residents are thus cognizant of the effects of climate change and want to do something about it. They just want to know how. This is why the work that we're doing not only intends to provide Durham residents with the right or possibly the most effective resources for climate action, but also intends to serve as a catalyst to enhance the speed and scale of individual energy efficiency and electrical efforts in Durham. Hopefully, these efforts, in addition of other efforts that we're also trying to do, may result in the town becoming a healthier and a more equitable community. Next slide, please. As I said already, one of the major lessons that I learned from this fellowship is that even a town as small as Durham can have a significant impact on the broader community. I also learned that this work requires a lot of patience, a lot of empathy, and a lot of commitment. When I first came into the fellowship, the question most on my mind was how to convince people that climate change is real and they need to take climate action. But in the past few months, my work has been focused on how to convince people in Durham that they specifically need to focus on energy efficiency and electrification efforts in their own spaces, and they need to prioritize doing so today. Because if Durham manages to do this successfully, it could maybe serve as a model for other towns in New Hampshire or other states and communities that haven't even begun climate-related work. Which is why I part with this question. How do we make a compelling case that doing this mundane home improvement work in their own households this month or this year is the best way individuals can prevent suffering from climate impacts, both home and abroad, and thus support Durham in living up to its community values? I want to thank all my mentors, Todd, Jen, Jim, and Nat, my advisors, and my policy and educational cohort for this immense support. Thank you all.
Terrific, Rafidah. Thanks so much for all of this work. It's so much, and we deeply appreciate it. As I said, we would love to have questions coming in from the chat. As those come in, I will start by just noting the applause and the accolades you're getting on the chat. So, Rafidah, I guess I have a question for you, which is, what was your biggest challenge in really trying to engage the public?
The challenge was that it's like So first, like, I'll just give an example about, like, I've been trying to develop an article series that kind of like focuses on our 5 focus areas, like transportation and energy efficiency and buildings and waste and natural resources. So energy efficiency is what I'm particularly focusing on for this fellowship. And one of the first articles that I was working on was heat pumps. So the kind of articles that we're doing is not just about the what and why, but also how. So we kind of had to like kind of reach out to people who have already experience of having heat pumps and what we're like. And we're also kind of looking at the economic factor, because, you know, if you want to convince people to switch to a heat pump, they would want to know if there are any economic benefits as well. So that was something like kind of getting that kind of data was a little difficult, but we're getting there. And another challenge is that, you know, with municipality, it sometimes takes longer than we anticipate, you know, to get work done. So that was one of the challenges that I faced. But I think with having great mentors like Todd and Jim and Nat, who are so supportive and so nice, that it just makes that path a little bit smoother. So yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Rafidah. And yes to all that.